I call this meeting to order at 7:29 p.m. We'll now move into Section 2, swearing in. For all senators that have not been sworn in yet, please stand. Please raise your right hand, and if you accept at the end, please respond with "I do." Do you hereby swear that you will faithfully serve the students of Wichita State University, act in accordance with the Constitution of the student body, fulfill all duties and responsibilities in the office in which you are about to enter, and to the best of your ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student body of Wichita State University? Congratulations. We will now move into Section 3, roll call. Clerk Carter?
With 27 members present, simple majority is 14 and 2/3 majority is 18.
Thank you. We'll now move into Section 4, messages from the student body president. Clerk Carter?
Messages from the student body president, Jiawin Wang. Bills and resolutions filed. Upon recommendations by the Senate and by my authority, the following have been signed and filed as law. SB-68-001, appointing Holly Zhang to be Media Relations Director. SB-68-002, amendment to the President's Cabinet. AR-68-001, ensuring university collections transparency. Pursuant the authority vested in me as President of the Association by the Constitution and the laws of the Wichita State University Student Government Association, I hereby direct and order the following. Executive Order 68-005, appointing, appointing Anushka Raju to be Health and Wellness Director. Whereas the Cabinet shall serve to advise and assist the President in the execution of the will of the Senate and the members of the Association, and to communicate the activities of the executive branch to the Senate, the President of the Association may create, develop, implement, and appoint any additional members to the Cabinet they deem necessary through executive order. And now, therefore, pursuant the authority vested in me as President of the Association by the Constitution and the laws of the Wichita State University Student Government Association, I hereby direct and order the following. Action 1, reestablish Executive Order 63-013, creating the position of Health and Wellness Director. Action 2, appoint Anushka Raju to be Health and Wellness Director. Action 3, direct the central office to notify the Student Senate of this action. This order shall be filed with the Association's office, add to the record, and it shall become effective upon filing and remain in force until rescinded by the President of the Association or following other procedures. This order shall become executive law and special order to remain beyond the session. Executive Order 68-006, appointing Ghulam Morshed Khan to be Student Organizations Director. Whereas the Cabinet shall serve to advise and assist the President in the execution of the will of the Senate and the members of the Association, and to communicate the activities of the executive branch to the Senate, now therefore, pursuant the authority vested in me as the President of the Association by the Constitution and the laws of the Wichita State University Student Government Association, I hereby direct and order the following. Action 1, appoint Ghulam Morshed Khan to be Student Organizations Director. Action 2, direct the central office to notify the Student Senate of this action. This order shall be filed with the Association's office, added to the record, and it shall become effective upon filing and remain in force until rescinded by the President of the Association or following other procedures. This order shall become executive law and special order to remain beyond the session. Executive Order 68-007, designating the authority of treasurer to the central office. Whereas the office of the student body treasurer is vacant and there are important decisions that need to be made regarding funding recommendations and appropriations, and until a new treasurer is appointed and confirmed, these duties need to be carried out. Now, therefore, pursuant the authority vested in me as the President of the Association by the Constitution and the laws of the Wichita State University Student Government Association, I hereby direct and order the following. Action 1, designating the authority of the student body treasurer to the central office for a time until a treasurer is nominated, appointed, and sworn in. Action 2, all decisions by the central office must be reported to the student body president and may be overwritten. Action 3, direct the central office to notify the Student Senate of this action. This order shall be filed with the Association's office, added to the record, and it shall become effective upon filing and remain in force until rescinded by the President of the Association or following other procedures. This order shall become executive law and special order to remain throughout the session. These orders shall be filed with the Association's office, added to the record, and it shall become effective upon filing and remain in force until rescinded by the President of the Association or following other procedures. These orders shall become executive law and special order to remain beyond the session.
Thank you. We'll now move into Section 5, 3-minute floor speeches. In lieu of senators using public forum as a mechanism to address the Senate, any senator may seek recognition to give a speech on the subject of their choice, not exceeding 3 minutes in duration. 3-minute speeches are focused on specific topics. Senators may only hold the floor once during this period. One thing I would like to note is that I made a decision to change the number of time for Senate floor speeches from 1 minute to 3 minutes after receiving feedback. Is there anyone that wishes to speak during the 3-minute floor speech period? Senator Otten, you have the floor.
Good evening. My name is Abby, or as many of you know me as Senator Otten now. And as a new senator, I want to take a moment to share something that I hope to say during our final Senate meeting for the 67th session. Unfortunately, I was not able to be there in person to say this, but I really appreciate the time to speak now. If you know me, you know that I've spent most every Wednesday night watching the live Senate meetings from my dorm. And I wanted to thank some people tonight that made me take those steps to actually be sitting in this room, not just yelling about student fees in my dorm, wondering, or my roommate wondering what is going on. Student government isn't always the most popular organization, but I have seen the firsthand impact that the decisions made in this room do make. And with those student fees and my roommate wondering what's going on, I really am excited to make some of those changes this year. But to give my thanks, some of you may not have spoken with me before this semester, but watching you during those student government meetings was very exciting. So thank you specifically to Dr. Fonseca, Kylie Hauer, Matthew Fawn, Andrew Bobbitt, Andrew Hatch, Victoria Owens, Adriana Owens, Jaden Island, Annie Wassinger, Ryan Knuckles, Noah Carter, and Patrick Murphy. But a special thank you to Senator Josh Mallard, who in the end watched me endure so much pain going back and forth whether I was actually going to hit submit on my student government application that had been sitting complete for over a month. Student government has been something I've been wanting to be a part of this entire time in college, and so he saw that, and I really am so glad and honored that he pushed me to hit submit. But to the current and past senators and everybody that has ever served in student government, thank you for what you do. I'm honored to be with you here today. Let's have a good 68th session. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak during this time? Okay, seeing none, we'll now move into Section 6, Public Forum. Public Forum provides a chance for individuals to have the privilege of speaking before the Senate, limited to 3 minutes only. This is a time for Senate to listen to what the community has to say, and to that we offer our undivided respect and attention. I would like to remind everyone that although we allow the speakers the privilege to use this platform, the opinions of the speakers do not reflect the opinions of the association. Does anyone wish to speak at public forum? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into Section 7, Introductions and Reports, and we'll move to Section 7.1, Report from the Executive Branch, President Wong.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all doing well tonight. This week has been focusing on finishing up interviews. Amy and I have been hard at work appointing cabinet members so that we can get started as soon as possible on our goals. I am so proud to introduce 6 cabinet appointments to you all tonight. These appointments were made with careful consideration, thought, and time. Tonight, we attended the Shocker Leadership Awards, where we presented awards on behalf of Student Government Association. I want to congratulate our student organizations and thank them for all the hard work they had this year. Next week, the former student body president Howard, former student body vice president Fawn, Amy, and I will be traveling up to Topeka to present the student fees budget from the previous session. We will be focusing on finals for the upcoming week, so we will be in and out of the office. If you need anything, please email us or reach out to Dr. Gabriel Fonseca. For this part, are there any questions?
Are there any questions so far? Okay. You may continue.
Thank you. Seeing none, I would now like to introduce positions appointed by executive order. I am extremely excited to introduce you all to my first one, Anushka Raju, as our new Director of Health and Wellness. When Anushka first heard about this role, she immediately had important clarifying questions about the role. During our discussions, Anushka showed a passion that is just as bright as she is. She lights up the room with her kindness, empathy, and dedication. Involved in Ambassadors for Diversity and Inclusion, Pre-Medical Student Association, and Sigma Psi Zeta Sorority Incorporated, Anushka has more than enough experience in leadership, programming, and student interactions to qualify her for this role. She is excited about this position because it is a combination of all of her passions in one space. Through her role, she wants to connect students to different resources in the community to prepare them before they graduate to be able to navigate through these resources. She also wants to be able to tailor to the needs of students because she recognizes that different students have different needs, and to ensure that students are receiving the attention and care that is personal and tailored to them. She aims to foster connections with the student body, to see and hear the needs of the students, and to launch initiatives to then cover those needs. In her role, she wants to ensure that resources are being utilized effectively and in a way that promotes health and wellness in students, breaking down barriers that students often face. I would now like to introduce to you Anushka Raju.
Good evening, everyone. Like Jawan said, my name is Anushka Raju. I'm a third-year student studying biomedical engineering on the pre-med track, and I am honored for the opportunity to serve as a Director of Health and Wellness for the 68th session. Throughout my college experience, I've had the privilege of growing as both a student leader and an aspiring healthcare professional. On campus, my involvement with Ambassadors for Diversity and Inclusion has allowed me to help create spaces where students feel seen, heard, and supported. It's where I've learned the value of intentional leadership and the importance of building systems that reflect the diversity of our student body. Off campus, my role as an emergency department scribe has given me a front row seat to the state of our healthcare system, its strengths, and more importantly, its shortcomings. I've witnessed how delays in access to care, lack of education, and systemic barriers can turn small issues into crises. These moments made me realize that wellness isn't just about responding to emergencies, it's about building a culture of care, one that's proactive, inclusive, and sustainable. These experiences are what led me to this role. As Director of Health and Wellness, I see a meaningful opportunity to bridge the gap between students and the resources designed to support them. Whether it's mental health services, preventative care, or basic needs like menstrual product access, every student should know where to turn and trust that those systems will meet them where they are. In the year ahead, I hope to build on existing initiatives while introducing programs that reflect the real and evolving needs of our campus community, from expanding health education and resource awareness to exploring student-led initiatives like a free clinic and wellness kits. I also look forward to working closely with campus and community partners, RSOs, and identity-based organizations to ensure that every voice is part of this conversation. I truly believe that when we invest in wellness, we invest in student success, both in the classroom and far beyond it. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. I'm so excited for the work ahead, and I'd love to answer any questions that you might have.
Does anyone have any questions? See none, thank you.
Sorry, just give me a second. I would love to introduce you to a very dedicated student leader and the new Director of Student Organizations, Gholam Morshed Khan. I first met Gholam through the organizational funding process. From the very start, I saw that he was extremely dedicated to serving the students that he represents. Although he was struggling through extremely tough challenges in his personal life, he always ensured that the students he promised to take care of were taken care of first. A founding member of multiple organizations, Gholam shared that he found that many organizations were unaware of the support and resources that WSU has and wants to be able to help foster an understanding of the value that the university provides. He also saw that there were opportunities for collaboration between organizations that should be supported and fostered. He wants to be able to work with each executive team role to empower and nurture the courage of students so that they can succeed as a leader and in their academics. Something that really solidified my decision to appoint him to this role was his vision for SGA's legacy, to generate thousands of leaders. I will now introduce Gholam to the podium.
Hello, everyone. Very good evening, and thank you, Madam President. Um, well, my name is Ghulam Murshid Khan. This is the first time I'm attending the Senate, so I'll be very this is the first time I'm giving speech over here. So I'm doing my master's in supply chain management. I'm going to graduate in this semester, but I'm starting another master's, so I'll be here in Wichita State for two more years. Well, my vision for the all other organization is based on the diversity inclusions. I want that the Wichita State University become a more diverse place, and it's a place where everyone is safe and welcome. So I believe in inclusions in everything. Doesn't matter about the race, culture, or the other things that. But the thing that we value is the leadership and humanity that must be prevail and sustain in this campus. So we want to make a campus safe place for everyone with the organizations that we have, that we believe that every organization is like flowers in this campus, which is like we want to make a good, better garden in here, so that every part of the world is represented in here equally, and we want to generate a good leadership from the Wichita State for not only for the United States, for the entire world. Thank you, everyone.
Does anyone have any questions?
Sorry.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
One last thing before I go, I wish you all good luck on your finals. I just took one today. It was a bit rough, but I believe in you all, so good luck.
Okay, we will now move into swearing in for our newly appointed directors.
Got it, sorry. Can I please have Anushka and Ghulam come back? You stand right here. And then please raise your right hand, and if you accept at the end, please respond with "I do." Do you hereby swear that you will faithfully serve the students of Wichita State University, act in accordance with the Constitution of the student body, fulfill all duties and responsibilities of the office in which you are about to enter, and to the best of your ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student body of Wichita State University? I do. Congratulations.
We will now move into 7.2, report from the Speaker of the Senate. So good evening, everyone. I hope your week has been going well so far with finals coming up or already coming up for many of us. Welcome to all of our new directors and newly sworn in senators. I'm really excited for this session to see all the amazing work that you do. Before we get into the what I would say is normal for a report, I wanted to go over with you all a few standards and expectations before we get into our regular business. As a reminder, for our Senate meetings, I expect everyone to be here on time and dress in business casual or better. And starting in the fall, I will have the clerk count students that are not dressed appropriately absent from our Senate meetings. Today, I told Clerk Carter for any senators that came after 7:35 to be counted absent for today. For attendance, I expect if you know you're going to miss our meetings, I ask that you submit our excuse forms on Shocker Sync. I know for this week, Shocker Sync has been having some issues. So in the case moving forward, we have any problems submitting the form, just email the reason why you're going to be absent from the meeting and what you're seeking to be excused from to the speaker email, and I will respond to you saying whether or not the excuse that you have is absence will be excused or not. Additionally, I want to remind you all that this is a place that I want all of you to treat each other with respect. I will not tolerate any disrespect in this space whatsoever and outside of this space. I want to remind everyone, when we're outside of this SGA space, I will not have other senators go out to their constituents and talk negatively about SGA or about other senators, or try to get information about other senators to be used against them. I will not tolerate that whatsoever. If you do that, I will not hesitate. First of all, I will reach out to you and we'll schedule a meeting, but I will not hesitate to send cases to the Membership Review Board. With that, we'll go back into our regular business. I want to remind you all that the form that I sent with the Senate committee's assignments, I want all the senators to fill out that form. So if Vice President Nguyen can pass these QR codes out with the form to the tables, that would be awesome. But every senator has to be in a Senate committee. So we have 4 Senate committees currently: Government Oversight, Academic Affairs, Student Services, and Diversity, Empowerment, and Inclusion. I sent out an email to every senator with descriptions of what each of the committee does, but I ask that you all fill out that form by midnight today so I can start forming the committee assignments for that. Additionally, for starting in the fall, we'll have a seating chart for all of our senators, and we'll have all of our chairpersons put in by that time. With our chairpersons, I am currently conducting interviews for those positions. With finals and everything, I'll close the applications by next Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. So if you're interested in being in Senate leadership, I highly encourage you all to apply. And as I said, the applications close at 11:59 p.m. And again, if you have issues on Shocker Sync for the Senate leadership applications, please let me know, and I'll try to get those up and running again. So as you notice on our agenda tonight, all those appointment bills and our consent agendas, those will always be in our teams, and I'll send out emails every week by 7:30 p.m. Come Tuesday evening, those should, for the most part, all be put in. For tonight's agenda, pretty light agenda. We solely have appointment bills to vote on tonight. So if you look through the agenda, we'll have one bill on the consent agenda. I'll explain that in one moment. In addition, we have several cabinet appointments. All of those are pretty notable in that we'll have our appointment for student body treasurer up for a vote tonight, in addition to our undergraduate student advocate. For our consent agenda, normally the things that we have on there are like meeting minutes. So all the notes on what word for word for what all of our Senate meetings are every Wednesday. In addition, on the consent agenda, sometimes we put items on there that we think that don't necessarily need to go through a full vote and full hearing process. Typically, those things are like appointment bills, or they can be, they used to be other matters that we found to be trivial, like not trivial, but not necessarily requiring a full vote. For example, transferring senators from one committee to another at their request when those come up, and also appointing pro temps. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, so for tonight's meeting for our consent agenda, we have our appointments to Legislative Council. So our Legislative Council, for those of you that may not have heard of it before, that is our de facto Senate over the summer. So today will actually be our last regular Senate meeting of the semester, and after today's meeting, we will adjourn for the summer session. And during the summer session, the Legislative Council will review any bills or any appointments, in addition to the student body president's budget during the summer. And in addition, they'll also approve the appointments for our Senate leadership positions. All bills that go through Legislative Council, or all appointments that go through Legislative Council, must be approved with a 2/3 majority vote. So it is a higher standard as opposed to our full Senate. For our appointments to Legislative Council, is all of those who are our senior members for each of our constituency groups or positions. For example, we'll have all of our colleges in addition to our out-of-state senators, international senators, underrepresented senators. We'll have one person from each category have a seat on Legislative Council, in addition to our clerk, who's a non-voting member, and our student body vice president, who also will actually get to vote directly in Legislative Council, which is something a little bit different than our typical Senate meetings when they only vote in a case of a tie. Additionally, for our Legislative Council, you might ask, how come I might not have a seat since I got the most votes? So how our seniority ranking works is the senator that has served the most time in SGA in our Senate space. So it's not necessarily someone who got the most votes within the election, but in the case that we don't have any senators that have served in SGA before, it will then defer to the senators with the most votes. Does anyone have any questions about Legislative Council? Okay, awesome. Another thing I would like to note is for the consent agenda, all we have to do when we get to it is I'll ask, does anyone have any objections to the consent agenda? And then if no one objects to it, then it is approved as such. In addition, one thing I'd like to note is for the summer session, I will be communicating to everyone what we will be voting on during Legislative Council. That way, if you're interested in seeing what they're voting on, you're more than welcome to join in on those meetings. Those meetings are public meetings as well. I will also be hosting training workshops throughout the summer. So before I host those workshops, I'll send out emails 1 week in advance to let you all know, and I'll do a poll of what senators would prefer for those workshops, whether senators would prefer in-person meetings, virtual meetings for those workshops. After, I will record every workshop that we'll host and put them in the teams. That way it's accessible to every member of the Senate if you want to look over those later. One thing that I'll also like to note is I'd like to recognize our clerk, Noah Carter, as this is his last Senate meeting of this session. He has served as our clerk for the 67th session, and I would like to give Noah some recognition for his service so far. So let's give him a round of applause. Our new clerk isn't able to make it today, but he will be officially appointed very soon, and I'll be sure to introduce him as he comes along. But as always, if anyone has any questions, thoughts, or concerns, you're always more than welcome to reach out to me on GroupMe, or you can email me at my email at sj.speaker@wichita.edu. Additionally, I will be hosting office hours over the summer in person, or I'm more than willing to meet with you virtually to discuss any concerns or thoughts that you may have. Tomorrow and Friday, I will be in the office for most of the day, so if you wish to chat or just have a little more casual conversation, more casual setting, I'm more than happy to meet with you. In addition, if you have any questions about legislation or have any feedback, I am more than happy to give any feedback or responses or give you any questions that might come up during our Senate meetings before we officially put them before our Senate. But let's end our Senate semester strong, and I hope you all have an amazing weekend and do well on your finals. But I know that's a rather long-winded report, but does anyone have any questions for me? Okay, seeing none, we'll now move into 7.3, report from the central office.
Good evening, everyone. There we go. All right, just a couple things really quick. First, I wanted to make sure everyone enrolled in classes for the fall. Everybody nodding, wonderful. Okay, good. So that's perfect. This person over here is Caitlin Nolan. If you don't know who she is the coordinator of student advocacy in our office, but she also takes on some roles and responsibilities with student government, so you may be seeing her around, maybe working with committee chairs or cabinet directors throughout the year, but she's also another resource if I'm not available or I'm not here, then Caitlin Nolan would be the backup person for you to all to utilize as well, so thanks, Caitlin. Congratulations, welcome. A couple of things, I just want to recognize a few other folks. So last night we hosted our university award ceremony, and a few folks in this room who were finalists for those awards and a winner of one of those awards. So I just want to take a second to give those folks a shout out. First, our very own Braden, who was a finalist for Freshman of the Year. So congratulations to you, Braden. Ja Wynn, who was a finalist for Junior of the Year, as well as Leslie. I know she's not here, but Leslie, who's our Chief Justice, was also a finalist for Junior of the Year. And our very own Amy Wynn was named Junior of the Year last night as well. So let's give those four a round of applause. And then as you heard in the messages from the president, I've been taking over the treasurer duties. That job is terrible. But really all the things that we've been working on are groups who are preparing for appropriations and asking clarifying questions, and also some of the exemptions relating to the Tier 3 requirement, and then finishing out, closing out this year's fiscal year budget as well. So I am looking forward to a new treasurer to be confirmed so I can not do that in response to those emails anymore because it is a lot. I don't know how Jawin did it for 2 years, but thank you. And then just other reminder, the student government's office is finally almost finished. So starting in the fall semester, there'll be spaces for you all Wednesdays before meetings start or committees start for you to hang out in there, but also throughout the week as well. And then just a reminder, Shaka Sport Locker will continue to be open over the summer. And if you have questions about that specifically, please let us know so that we can address those questions as well. And that is all that I have at this time, unless there are any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Fonseca?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will now move into Section 8 of the consent agenda in 8.1.
Act on request to approve SB-68-003, appointing the Legislative Council.
Does anyone have any objections to the consent agenda? Seeing none, it is adopted as such. We will now move into Section 9, pending business. There is none. We will now move into Section 10, new business, and we'll move to 10.1. Clerk Carter.
Act on request to approve SB-68-004, appointing Kaylee Fritz to be Chief of Staff.
Is the author here and wish to speak? You have the floor.
Hi, y'all, again. It is my absolute honor to introduce Kaylee Fritz as my candidate for the role of Chief of Staff. Throughout my time working with Kaylee, I have witnessed firsthand her unwavering reliability, exceptional work ethic, and the intentionality she brings to every task. Kaylee has consistently gone above and beyond in every position she held, most notably through her leadership of the Freshman Leadership Council. Under her guidance, the council not only thrived, but also fostered meaningful student engagement and growth among its members. What stands out most about Kaylee is her organizational strength and efficiency. She ensures that nothing falls through the cracks, and her attention to detail is unmatched. Whether it's planning initiatives through the Freshman Leadership Council, supporting her peers, or creating systems for success, she leads with clarity, compassion, and a genuine commitment to serving the student body. She plans to ensure that her role is successful through the structure and communication that she has learned through her previous role in the 67th session. I have full confidence in her ability to serve as Chief of Staff with professionalism, heart, and purpose.
Are you inviting your nominee to
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say, is the nominee here, wishes to speak? But yes, I would like to invite Kaylee Fritz up to the podium.
Good evening, Senators. My name is Kaylee Fritz, and I am incredibly honored to be here today. I applied for the Chief of Staff position because I care deeply about the impact that student government has, not just on campus, but on individual students. I currently serve as the Education Vice President for Gamma Phi Beta, where I support the officers in my department organize chapter-wide events, and help manage the initiatives of the executive branch board. Over this past year, I've had the privilege of serving as the Director of Leadership and Engagement, where I led the Freshman Leadership Council and helped them find their place as leaders. I facilitated a shadowing program, multiple panels, and successful campus events. The impact I had is real and shown through your fellow senators, Brown and Miller. Both of these roles have taught me how to lead with clarity, compassion, and intention. When Abby Whistler told me I would be a perfect fit for this role, it truly encouraged me to reflect on how I could keep growing as a leader. I want to continue challenging myself, learning from those around me, and stepping into new responsibilities that push me outside of my comfort zone. This role is the perfect opportunity to do just that. I believe I'm the right fit for Chief of Staff, not only because of my experience, but because of my heart. I truly love the Student Government Association, and I've seen firsthand the change it can have. And I want to be part of leading that change. Thank you, and I will stand for questions.
Does anyone have any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you. We will now move into the debate period for this bill. Does anyone wish to speak in debate? Senator Ping.
Hi. So I got to know Kaylee within this past session, and if you've ever been around her, she has a very bubbly, lively spirit. She's always in the office working hard, even has her blankets with her if you're wanting to take a nap. She's always letting you borrow it, and she always has that free time. So I really am happy to see her hopefully nominated in this position. And if you all ever need anything, she's always in the office, like I said. So yeah.
Does anyone else wish to speak in debate? I'll speak in debate, so I will speak in affirmation of the nominee. I had the pleasure of working with her in cabinet last year, as working very closely with her in the Freshman Leadership Council. She's a very dedicated, was a very dedicated member of our cabinet. She went to so many tabling events last year, and I couldn't imagine a better nominee for the position. Does anyone else wish to speak in debate? Senator Mallard?
A motion to approve with unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion is adopted as such. Congratulations. We will now move into 10.2. Clerk Carter.
Act on request to approve SB-68-005, appointing Lily Ahrens as Legislative Affairs and Policy Director.
Is the author here and wish to speak? You have the floor.
Thank you so much. It is my honor to introduce Lily Ahrens as my nominee for the role of Director of Legislative Policy and Affairs. Working with Lily has truly shown me her commitment, passion, and adaptability in a role that is ever-changing. Although there were challenges with Higher Ed Day, Lily navigated through these challenges with grace and kindness. Lily is dedicated to ensuring that her role as Director of Legislative Policy and Affairs is always student-centered, having student-centered conversations around legislation, policies, and SGA as a whole. She wants to ensure that her role is dedicated to ensuring that students understand policy changes at the local, regional, state, and federal level, because an informed student body is important to her. She wants students to feel that they have a safe space within SGA and to ensure that the role is really about serving the students. I would like to invite Lily up to the podium to speak.
Good evening, Senators. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Lily Ahrens. I'm hoping to continue my 4th year in student government by retaining my position as Director of Legislative and Policy Affairs. I served in this role in the 67th session, and I look forward to building on the work I started over the past 12 months. I want to increase student engagement with the state of Kansas, build better connections with our local and state representatives, and continue to serve as a liaison between the executive and legislative branches within our own student government. I love student government, and I am excited to get to know you all as we work to serve students at Wichita State University. I will stand for questions.
Does anyone have any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you. We will now move into the debate period for this item. Does anyone wish to speak in debate? Senator Owens?
Hello. I've had the privilege of serving alongside Lily in the Senate, and also, being a part of legislative affairs with Lily is always a treat. There's something so amazing about Lily when she comes into each space with such new, fresh ideas. Not only that, but she's a fantastic friend, leader, mentor. Her work on the Finance Commission is also fabulous. There's just no one I could see do more of a good job than Lily. And I'm so excited to see what higher education looks like this year.
Does anyone else wish to speak in debate? Senator Murphy?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, the motion is adopted as such. Congratulations. We will now move into 10.3.
Act on request to approve SB-68-006, appointing Jaden Island as undergraduate student advocate.
You have the floor.
Thank y'all again. It is my genuine privilege to introduce Jaden Island as my candidate for the role of undergraduate student advocate. Jaden is a leader whose impact is both visible and deeply felt. As the underserved senator in SGA's 67th session, they have shown a strong commitment to advocating for students whose voices are too often overlooked. They approach their work with thoughtfulness, empathy, and a clear dedication to meaningful change. Beyond their role in SGA, Jaden is an active leader across campus through involvements such as Student Activities Council and the Honors College. They consistently show up for students and lead with purpose. Their ability to build trust, listen deeply, and advocate effectively has made them a dependable and respected presence in every space they are a part of. Jaden does not just know campus resources. They understand where the gaps are. They have a talent for identifying what students need most and are committed to bridging those gaps with intentional student-centered solutions. They are someone peers turn to because they know Jaden listens, cares, and follows through. Jaden is not only prepared for this role, they embody it. Their passion for student well-being, strong communication skills, and commitment to advocacy make them the ideal choice for undergraduate student advocate. I would like to invite Jaden Island to the podium.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much to Jawin for that wonderful introduction. I stand before you this evening to humbly ask for your trust in assuming the position of undergraduate student advocate for the 68th session. For those of you that may not be familiar, of course, my name is Jaden Island, and my role here on campus, I'm a second-year student in the philosophy program with a concentration in ethics and minors in public health and honors research design. Last session, I had the privilege of serving as underrepresented student senator, where I championed for equity in intramural sports and supported legislative efforts to improve accessibility and security across campus. These engagements allowed me to build a foundational understanding of the unique challenges students are facing each day and familiarize myself with the rights granted to them as members of the association in our bylaws and constitution. The passion I've gained over the past year to improve government processes and ensure student success, no matter their background, encouraged me to take on a more active role within our governing body and continue the legacy created by Advocate Wassinger in tackling accessibility challenges and promoting academic student success. This session, my primary goals lie in the provision of unbiased and nonpartisan resource access for our students and providing guidance in their times of need. I hope to defend the cause of representation and inclusivity for those without consistent advocacy in our campus community and ensure that all students are affirmed in their right to success at Wichita State University. By utilizing task forces, town halls, and our Maxient platform to uniformly receive student feedback, I plan to address any and all concerns in a direct and efficient manner. My ability to act in moments of uncertainty with an attitude grounded in servant leadership provides me with the unique qualifications to foster an environment conducive to the personal growth and development of our students. I thank you all for the opportunity to represent our students in this manner, and I can promise my unwavering dedication and heartfelt duty to my role. I want to once again thank President Wong and Vice President Nguyen for their trust in my abilities, and I urge you to vote yes on the bill put forth this evening. Thank you.
Do any senators have any questions for the nominee? Senator Owens?
I'm so excited to see you up here. So you mentioned our current, I guess, undergraduate advocate, Annie Wassinger, and their plea for accessibility. And so I'd love to get a little bit more feedback about what kind of task force you're looking at and how you'll continue to champion accessibility in this role.
Thank you so much for that question. I know that recently with the search going for the new ADA coordinator here on campus, I want to work really closely with that coordinator in not only making sure that, the forms for accessibility across campus and ensuring that there's accessibility not only in a physical manner, but also working with the Office of Student Accommodations and Testing and ensuring that our students have the proper accommodations that are within their rights as students here on campus. Not only that, but I know the Accessibility and Disability Pride Task Force has been a huge resource for students here on campus to really amplify their voices, and I do hope to continue those efforts within the 68th session.
Do any other senators have any questions for the nominee? Senator Boyd?
You talk about equality in intramural sports. What all do you push for, say for, as the equality that you talk about?
Right, so within the 67th session, I know some of our work within the DEI community was looking at potentially changing some of the language within campus recreation to kind of look for more equitable processes. I know some of our students within our agencies that we worked closely with had a lot of complaints in that area during the 67th session, and we worked really closely with them to improve and enhance security measures within the areas that they were competing last session. Thank you.
Are there any more questions for the nominee? Senator Murphy?
You just mentioned that the agencies had complaints. Are you able to, I guess, divulge, would that be the right word? Divulge, or explain or go into more detail what those complaints were?
Right. So there was a bill presented last session, so there were some concerns about security within the Heskett Center, but a lot of those concerns and complaints in that area were addressed appropriately with the installation of security cameras within that specific competition space. Any additional complaints were able to be resolved with individual conversations with the people that submitted those concerns.
Are there any more questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you. We will now move into the debating period for this item. Before we start debating, I will note for the advocate position, it requires a 2/3 majority and it cannot be approved by unanimous consent this time. Are there any senators that wish to speak in debate? Senator Haynes?
Yeah, so I'll be speaking in affirmation of Jaden. So they were in my committee last time, and working with them was truly an absolute pleasure. They were really on top of their stuff, and I think that's what we need in a student advocate, somebody that's just always there to ask the questions, well, what about this? Have you ever thought about this angle? Jaden was always kind of that person in that committee space, so really happy to see them take this step. So, vote yes, people.
Are there any other senators that wish to speak in debate? Senator Owens?
Yeah, so I think Jaden is one of those people that you meet and it's just like, what a good idea. And they just throw out the best ideas you can think of and then just go above and beyond to exceed and do them incredibly well. I think Jaden is also one of those people who truly not only champions accessibility in spaces, but also goes above and beyond to execute those initiatives in such a unique and thoughtful way. I really have loved the work that undergraduate advocate Wassinger has done this past session with accessibility, and I'm incredibly excited to see that be continued and to see that fostered. Jaden will, shine such a bright light on this position and will bring such a sense of safety and comfort and, just hard work to this position. I really can't see anyone else who'd fulfill this role as well as they would.
Are there any other senators that wish to speak in debate? Okay, seeing none, we'll now move into the voting period. Clerk Carter?
Just for clarity, our attendance has changed. So with 30 members present, simple majority is 16 and 2/3 majority is 20. When I call on your name, please just say yes, no, or abstain. That would make it great. Okay. Senator Chiam.
Yes.
Senator Bum.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Senator Barnes.
Yes.
Senator Luna Reyes.
Yes.
Senator Fawn.
Yes.
Senator Otten.
Yes.
Senator Beam.
Yes.
Senator Black.
Yes.
Senator Sauls.
Yes.
Senator Pang.
Yes.
Senator Lopez.
Yes.
Senator Mallard.
Yes.
Senator Owens.
Absolutely yes.
Senator Brown.
Yes.
Senator Kassir Safar.
Yes.
Senator Miller.
Yes.
Senator Murphy.
Yes.
Senator Seals. Senator Reiselhawk.
Yes.
Senator Sheikh.
Yes.
Senator Hansen.
Yes.
Senator Beatty.
Yes.
Senator Artiaga.
Yes.
Senator Haynes.
Yes.
Senator Mahat.
Yes.
Senator Sadat.
Yes.
Senator Hatch.
Yes.
Senator Azard.
Yes.
And Senator Lewis.
Yes.
All right, Senator Boyd.
Yes.
With 30 in favor, the motion passes unanimously.
Congratulations to the nominee. We'll now move into 10.4.
Act on request to approve SB-68-007, appointing Luke Bum as undergraduate student or as student body treasurer.
You have the floor.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for your patience tonight. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Luke Bum as my candidate for the student body treasurer role. I first met Luke in Finance Commission, where he jumped right into his role with fearlessness. In my 2 years as student body treasurer, I had not seen another commissioner like him. He was immediately outspoken, asking critical questions and taking notes by pen and paper. Luke has been a dependable and bright commissioner throughout all the processes. Typically, a commissioner who has not had SGA experience needs a little bit of time to adjust to the learning curve, especially when the first funding process that a commissioner experiences is the appropriations process. However, Luke showed exemplary leadership and advocacy by immediately diving headfirst into the process through asking questions, researching the average cost of items, and showing up early and on time. To me, it showed the potential and passion that Luke had simply for the good of the students. Additionally, throughout the individual and organizational funding processes, Luke consistently showed the same level of passion and commitment to his role in each and every single request. During the student fees process, Luke was prepared with his binder and was detailed in each presentation. Although grueling, Luke ensured that he showed up with intentionality. At one point, Luke was sick, but he strived through it because of his drive to represent his constituents. During the interview, Luke showed the drive and initiative for leading the Finance Commission. He wants to ensure that every commissioner feels seen and heard in their role, to ensure that they feel valued, to ensure that the drive at the beginning of the year stays consistent until the end, and to ensure that he is leading with efficiency and purpose. I approached this decision with the lens of a smooth transition, especially considering the fiscal challenges that may be ahead during this session. For these reasons, I know that Luke is the best candidate for student body treasurer. I would like to invite Luke up to speak.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luke Bum, and I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to stand before you here today to be considered as a student body treasurer. I would first like to introduce a little bit more about my background and experience. I'm a junior business student studying finance, and I currently serve as a VP of scholarship within the Beta Theta Pi fraternity. In this role, I lead our chapter to maintain and achieve academic success. In addition to my role as a VP of Scholarship, I am also the VP of the Interfraternity Council, where I work with the administrative roles inside of our finances and budgeting. In my professional life, I had the opportunity to work as an intern for 2 semesters at Fidelity Bank, where I learned sales, business analytics, and many other crucial financial skills. Most importantly, I had the pleasure of serving as a business commissioner on the 67th Sessions Finance Commission under former Treasurer Wong. Through this role, I have learned the processes of appropriations, student fees, individual funding, and organizational funding. Through these processes, I learned about the funding policies and procedures, as well as the impact that they have on the greater campus community, including all of the amazing individuals and student organizations that represent Wichita State University. During the student fees process, I was really able to learn more about how student dollars are being spent. Being able to partake in a process like this was extremely rewarding to me, as I knew I was making an impact on my fellow Shockers. This process also taught me how to navigate challenges throughout funding processes, such as overinflated budgets, underprepared presentations, and disagreements between commissioners. However, once the process was said and done, I knew that the work that the Finance Commission did was valuable to our campus community. As a possible next student body treasurer, I am to be a servant leader, connecting to my constituents to better the funding process. I understand that there may be unexpected challenges throughout the next fiscal year. However, I am confident in my experience and abilities to navigate through these challenges for the greater good of the student body. Thank you.
Do any senators have questions for the nominee? Senator Murphy?
You mentioned that one of the things that you're hoping to do is better the funding process. That's a little vague. Could you be a little bit more specific on that? What do you mean by that?
I don't know if I mentioned that part in my speech, but with the experience that President Wong has, I'm sure that she will be a great mentor to me, to help me further everything that she has done for the Finance Commission.
Are there any other questions for the nominee? Okay, seeing none, thank you. We will now move into the debate period for this item. I will also note for this bill, it does require a 2/3 majority, but it can be approved by unanimous consent if it is the will of the body. Does anyone wish to speak in debate? Senator Owens.
I'm sure Jasmine will also echo some of my sentiments here. I was the soul next to Luke when he was sick that very day in student fees. And I remember him coming and sniffling, but still coming in and being there. And he did scoot away his chair, which I appreciate. I did not end up sick after that, which I love. But I remember him, you know, every time there's any question, he is not afraid to ask it. He's not afraid to seek clarification and to write 1,000 things in that big binder that John gave us, and to really do that work. I think treasurer is one of those positions that's hard coming after such an experienced treasurer who did such fabulous work. And I think Luke is that person to come after that in his work in organizational funding and individual funding and the Finance Commission with student fees and appropriations. He's truly seen it all. And I think he is one of those people that he will ask the unpopular question, even when people are like, I disagree with that, or you know, those kinds of questions are so necessary and so important, and it makes other people start thinking and asking those tough questions, because finances and financial processes are incredibly personal, and he is one of those people, I think, that will tackle it with tact, kindness, respect, empathy, and he is that person, I think, for this session. He's also just a kind, cool guy, and I think he will really give that room a good energy, which I think is necessary to be able to tackle those tough conversations and to be able to make sure we're remaining respectful of our fellow commissioner and to really be that kind of unbiased liaison for the other commissioners. I think that's important. And I don't think he bragged about himself a little bit as much. He is really one of those people in the room who you're like, yeah, he's gonna kill it. So I was so excited to see his name on this list. I can't, vote for him enough.
Are there any other senators that wish to speak during this time? Senator Ping?
Sharing some of the same sentiments as Senator Owens. Got to know Luke within Finance Commission. spending very, very long days in Woosley Hall for appropriations, and in this very room, very long days for student fees. As someone who has gotten very close to Luke this past session, I was very excited to see his name. He is very passionate about Finance Commission. In the meetings or off the meetings, he's not afraid to ask questions. He's always curious about what's going on with this student government, as well as just helping out RSOs. I've gotten many late texts from Luke asking, hey, are they allowed to do this within appropriations? Are they allowed to do this within student fees? And he's just one of those people that is just very hardworking. And even though I'm sad that he's going to be leaving the Senate as a business senator, I can't wait to see what he does as student body treasurer if elected. So please vote for him.
Does anyone else wish to speak in debate? Senator Hatch?
Yeah, I also got to work with Senator Bum on the Finance Commission, and I cannot express how amazing it is. I have to echo the sentiments of President Wong. It is incredible when somebody that is that new to the space comes in and is able to ask hard but fair questions and is able to get themselves on track to be as informed as possible within such a short amount of time. I was very impressed just walking into appropriations on the first day, listening to them talk. I think this is a great position. I think this is a person that is willing to learn and has the resources to do so with such an experienced former treasurer and now president. And so I motion to approve this by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, is adopted as such. Congratulations. We will now move into section 11, adjournment. But before I adjourn, where is the QR code? Whoever has the QR code for the Senate committee forms, please hold it up. I will not adjourn until everyone here fills out the form. There are 22 responses to the form, and 2 of those members are absent, and we have 30 members present today. I will recess for 5 minutes, and when we come back, I expect all the forms to be filled out, or I will list the senators that did not fill out the form. And if you leave, you will be counted absent until we officially adjourn. But if you also apply for Senate leadership, you are still expected to fill out the form. So I will recess for 5 minutes, and we will come back at 8:36 p.m. Okay, everyone, start heading back to your seats. I said start heading back to your seats. Are we good? I call this meeting back to order at 8:36 p.m. Is there any senators that need extra time to work on the form? I think we're good. Okay, looking at the responses, I think a couple people messaged me saying they had to leave early, and then plus one of the since Senator Bum did get appointed, I told him he didn't have to fill out the form. So we are all good to go. So with that, the Student Government Association Senate will dissolve into Legislative Council for summer session and will stand in adjournment until Wednesday, August 20th at 7:30 p.m. Thank you, everyone.